What is up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Sparza. It is very late at night. It is 11:45 here on the Best Coast. I went to go train tonight, so I didn't get to watch who's number one. So that means that as a result of that, I didn't get to experience what many of you might have gotten to experience right in real time. So I thought, I have to watch these things anyways. I might as well just put it on tape. I'm up, you're up. Maybe you're not up. I don't know. Maybe you watch this tomorrow. Maybe you're thinking this is crazy to do it that late. You might be right. But we're in the middle of trying some new stuff. And legitimately, I don't know that I would go to bed without at least trying to keep up on it. Now, I do know the results of 1.5 of the things that took place here tonight. So I do have a little bit of context with it, but I didn't try to watch the technique breakdowns or anything like that. And, tonight I thought it'd be a little interesting to try and do something a little bit different. So we have an invite for our Discord because I wanted to let people know if they prefer to watch it on Discord when it's late, they're more than welcome to come join as well. So this is like the first time I've ever done something like that and included it. For years, I've been trying to figure out exactly what goes on these things. But for those of you who have been here before, you know exactly how this works. You know that I won't be showing you anything on our YouTube page or anything like that, or if you're watching on any of those other places. It's just, you probably saw this, and if you want to queue it up, we'll try and let you know where we are given on this broadcast. So let's say right over here, I'll pull some notes and I'll say, hey, this is going on here. So I'll definitely try to let you know those things as they are happening. So a little bit of a first time thing. And some of you may be going to bed. So if that's the case, listen, if you need to get bed, I understand. I understand, Sambo Slice. It's tie-tie time. You might be exhausted. I understand you might have drunkenly clicked on here. That's okay. I'm going to be getting drunk too. We, as a rule here, will toast those who get finishes within regulation. So it's a nice little late night for us here to try something new. So as we are watching this, feel free to go ahead and join along with us. It should be a good time, and I'm very excited to be trying something new. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and start right now. I'm going to go to put on my timestamp. So if you're looking at where you are on Flow Grappling, I believe it's approximately right before we go. So it's almost at, let me see, that's a really small print there. My apologies. -239.48 is where I started everything. So that way we can get it going. And I'll cue you guys as we are doing this one. But I do believe when we get to our first match, it will kind of make a little bit more sense how this thing works. It takes a second to get used to it. So there is that. And I know a lot of you have already seen this. So hopefully you watching my reactions has a little bit of reasonability. So they're in the back. They're showing the warm-ups. You got Tackett down there. He's having a blast, just laying sprawled out, looking at some updates while his brother goes. And we're about to get our first walkout coming in right now. What is up? Roll, Flow, and Vibe 34. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great day. So yes, this is your first walkout. They started with Nicky Ryan. So this is what confused me because I thought there was another match that opened it. It might have gotten canceled, but from where I was reading, I thought that the day had actually started with a different match, so I might have put that on the preview. If I did, and I apologize. Sometimes I know things, sometimes I do not. And you'll see me muting myself so that way I make sure you guys do not get ugly, dumb feedback. But here we go. Yeah, so we're starting right now. Nicky Ryan, JT Torres. You see the B team. Is that like wearing bucket hats is a choice? I guess it's better than wearing like the cowboy hats because I feel like not only is that cliche, it's just kind of like silly. Like when you wear a cowboy hat, I don't know that I can take you seriously unless you're an actual cowboy. Of course, right on the screen right now, you've got the Oest of G's. One, JT Torres about to make his walkout, pointing to his stomach, got the fist up. Now, unfortunately, this is the one that I do know the result on. Now, here's where things get weird. And I'll put this on the screen for those of you guys who maybe don't have the benefit of watching exactly what this is, but I can give you some references. Like I can kind of fill in some blanks for you guys here. But the first blank I'm going to go ahead and kind of fill in is going to be the fact that they might have, and by might have, I mean they did, they actually wrote down the ages of these folks. Now, when they wrote down the age differences, if you would, they did happen to call JT Torres 32 years old. And I know that because I actually got a screenshot of it. And the screenshot looks as such, just to make sure you know that I'm not lying. Yes, they referred to him as 32 or 22, the same age as Nicky Ryan. I guess the rest of the stats probably a little bit more accurate, and especially with the number 9 versus number 15. So that was the first thing that kind of like snuck up on me where I go, wait, I mean, I know JT looks young, y'all, but like, I don't think he's that young. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he'll be mad at me saying as much, but that's him checking in with his team, taking off the hoodie, giving the homie some daps, and he's making his way on out right now. This is a welterweight bout. So it's kind of weird to see Nicky Ryan ranked at 15, but I guess it's just possibly due to activity and I guess some other factors. But for the most part, when you really think about it, I mean, it's hard to give him that rank for whatever reason you might be at. So, all right, this is Torres. This is Ryan. This is your first match of the night, and both gentlemen meet in the center, and there's 15 minutes on the clock. Now, when I told you I knew that what happened in this particular match, listen, I've interviewed both these gentlemen. I'd like to think we have upstanding relationships with both of them, but it did kind of take a little bit on the soul there. You know, I did kind of have a moment here. I'm very happy for Nicky, but JT is a longtime friend of the show, so it just had like a small amount of resonance here. So it's 14:30 on the clock right now, and you are seeing JT Torres and Nicky exchange in some grips. So if you kind of know how this ends, you know it's going to take us a minute to get to where maybe we get to the ground where the finish will come at some point. We should also note here, there is also Swain by Dollarmere. I don't even know what that is. Is that the product that cleans the mats that they've switched to? Is that, I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up. Effective marketing there. All right. Collar ties right here. Good exchanges back and forth. Nicky Ryan not really committing to a grip just yet. Goes for a little bit of a duck under. Doesn't quite get it. JT Torres still looking spry. What's up, Jens? Good to see you. Within the first minutes going as well as you would imagine. Now, even with that like tie around the back of the neck, Nicky was pretty powerful in just pulling JT down. And there's not a ton of hip movement to generate that power. So he's just doing that off of excellent timing and good strength and good pull downs here. JT getting back up. He's standing up a little bit more upright, but sprawls out of contention here. This is kind of one of the most interesting things. If you think about it in terms of when people are fighting, you know, people's movement becomes such a big important thing. Nicky tried for another takedown here. He tried for a double, didn't quite get it. They go back up. But when you start looking at how wrestlers use their feints, you know, it has a symmetry and a similarity to the way that you can set up your kicks, set up your punches. So both of these are very artistic in their way. We here in jiu-jitsu, you know, we're learning. Nice little foot sweep there by JT. Attempt. Didn't quite hit. He's got a grip around the wrist. Nicky Ryan pulls the arms back very quickly, and they're back in the center of the mats. This is 12:34 left on this clock right now. And, you know, you're just kind of in an exchange, a little bit of a back and forth, trying to fight for these grips. This isn't too unsimilar to what we see normally whenever you're watching a Who's Number One. And they go to Ethan Krellenston, who, by the way, hold on, I don't know that I can get this up this way. But Nicky, I'm so sorry. Ethan Krellenston is definitely this, he's got the mush mouth. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure that we're able to get all of it, a full piece of it, but let me see what I was able to grab for you guys. It is somewhat spectacular to see these boys have some personality. So there is that. Having said that, sometimes when they display it and you look over and you're like, is he wearing a bucket hat? And also, he looks like he's in Spaceballs when they have the oversized helmets. So you do have a minute of pause. All right, so both those gentlemen still back up on their feet. We'll take a second to see if we can get this bucket photo that we got of Ethan. This will make a little bit more sense here in a second, but when you're able to look at this bucket hat, look at it's out of context. He looks like one of the stormtroopers in Spaceballs. And in case you kids are not well enough versed to know what Spaceballs is, I will tell you that some of the gentlemen in Spaceballs exude a certain kind of hilariousness in their approach to how their bucket hats have a passing similarity. So let's put this over here. This is Ethan, obviously, for those of you watching on the Instagram. Okay. Now I want you to tell me if you think this is all that different from how Darth Helmet looked. And, to me, it's strikingly similar. You know what I mean? Like, they both have their over the topness. So, gentlemen, well done on that. All right, 10:42. Ooh, for a split second there, JT saw the outside. He shot way deep on the outside. Didn't quite get it, but man, that was a really, really good attempt by him. I mean, up until this point, probably one of the better moments of their exchanges. So if you are watching along, I get it. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it's super late, but it is something that we're doing here to pass the time. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but in Who's Number One rules, they go in 5-minute periods. So at the 10-minute mark here, they're actually going to shine a light that says, oh, I think there's a little bit of a, can't tell if it's a stalling call or if there was just like an accidental, it might have been an accidental poke of some sort. But in this rule set, they flash a light to let you know who the judges prefer. And if you've watched it before, it has vague meaning, honestly. Like, I don't know that there's any consistency to anything that they've done with that one. It's just kind of like, oh, red corner. So in this particular juncture, they were favoring JT Torres. I will tell you, I do like the idea of using lights as an additional production feature. So I am a fan of the concept. It is how we have used the concept in the years since that I've kind of been like, ooh, like a little bit of a dive here from Nicky Ryan, and JT's trying to make the most of it. His foot is still stuck, and it does look like they're in a little bit of a tanglement, but you're going to see JT take his time here. He's a little compromised with his leg. You can see that Nicky's just trying to go for that dog bar from an unusual position, and JT is thinking about trying to take the back here, but that foot is stuck, so he is having to work a little bit around it. They go back to a bucket head shot of Ethan Krellenston, and, nothing doing much here. JT sees a leg in a scramble and doesn't quite have full control of it. Nicky spots his own opportunity, rechambers, and now in this, this is an excellent transition here, so I would mark you guys at the 8:43 or 8:37 timestamp here to let you know this is where I see Nicky Ryan starting to utilize just a effortless way of setting up his footlocks. JT is a very good pressure passer, so this should be his field. But when you look at how effective Nicky Ryan has been with his footlocks over the years, now again, we do know that he does finish with a straight ankle here, and he's starting to kind of go belly down with it. He does have that straight ankle, and JT's grimacing just ever so slightly, and the pressure isn't fully on yet. But I think now that he's got this excellent grip, that's where I think the tap happens. So you're seeing JT try to get out of it. And yeah, just in that moment, gets the tap at 7 minutes and 54 seconds remaining. Big celebration by the boys. Nicky Ryan just looking so energetic, so happy. This is the one I was saying kind of hurt to see just as the result, just because of how well we've gotten to know JT Torres over the years, but it is something to behold. So it is something that you can look at and you can say, hey, listen, that's a pretty huge win here. So for this particular juncture, I think what we're going to do is I will put the post-match interviews slightly. So they're basically putting on the resource. So just so you guys are aware, they are putting this on. They're now doing a little bit of a recap as they're doing the replays. They're showing the greatest hits of their stand-up, which was fairly vast. It did take them a few seconds to go ahead and get their act to the ground. But once they did, I mean, this dive, this just sacrifice dive by Nicky, it was risky, but it paid off in dividends. And once he was able to get into his leg lock, like, JT was just stuck. And that pressure that he started using, chest, the bend that he had right there was perfect. Yeah, just angling those knees ever so slightly gave him what he needed to take home the win. And the first person he goes to celebrate with is Ethan, followed by J-Rod. And they go to Kendall now for her interview. Let's see what he has to say. So they were saying that, Nicky Ryan saying that, hey, listen, I had almost neglected my leg locks in all the approaches that I've been putting into my wrestling. And we hear him say more here. So you see elements of Nicky and Gordon sharing I gotta stop sucking, which, okay, sure. It's just, I always love that they overdo it so dramatically there. Okay, so basically he was saying that his confidence is going to go up pretty assuredly since he did beat a two-time ADCC champion. That does check out. That does make sense. And he does credit JT Torres as the highest caliber opponent he has ever faced, which, I mean, that kind of checks out. It's just so funny when you think of how long we have seen Nicky Ryan in this world competing at some of the highest levels. So I guess I definitely do agree with him in that regard. I'm seeing Jake Watson over here. Jake, we're going to have words here in a second, but more so we'll discuss a little bit later, I think, when we're back on the show this week. What's up, Danielle? I can't say your last name. I just see Fryans. I see Fire Ends. So Fire Ends. There you go. Well, I would tell you this. That was the first match. I'm going to go ahead and start moving on over because we're making up for some lost time here. And I will tell you, so Jake, you'll have to let me know. Was that the first one on the main card? If you're still around, like, let me know, because it just, starting with that one, it shook me and threw me ever so slightly. And are we at an intermission? No, we go straight into Felipe Pena and Rafael Lovato Jr. So Lovato, man, he gets around for being a retired dude. All right, this is actually the really beginning of the match. So this is Felipe Pena, Rafael Lovato Jr., two legends, two longtime competitors in our sport, and it is at the 1450 mark. Of course, we always start on the feet here, and both these gentlemen trying to get their grips. Rafael just kind of shucks down very aggressively here. Pena, not really giving an inch, making sure. I mean, here's the thing I always respect about Lovato. Lovato is close to my age, and I don't think you could see me competing at his level. So I always understand what he is going through, but I do have compliments. I mean, he definitely like always starts his matches incredibly intense. Like he gets in there and just makes the most of his time. So whenever I see him on these matches, I think to myself like, damn, Lovato, you are coming out to let us know you're taking a stand, win, loss, whatever it may be. Back on the outside, 14 now left on the clock. So that's just one small minute of action thus far in what could be 15 minutes. And just to kind of keep one note on the Nicky Ryan match that we just saw right there. Sorry, they have too many Nickys on B team. On the Nicky Ryan match, he was losing the favorability score with JT Torres. And I found that interesting because I thought it was a very even back and forth in terms of the wrestling. So maybe again, I'll have to go back and rewatch that, but very interesting to see right there. A nice single leg snatch there by Lovato, loses it. Pena gets his grip back again. I mean, Pena has been a storied competitor for this rule set, for this show, and famously has had matches, grudge matches with Gordon Ryan. And of course, Gordon has made interesting comments about those performances over the years, but technically, oh my goodness, what a great trip. And yet, Lovato is right back up at the 12:57 mark on the timer. Just seeing the way that he approaches this, like so smooth. That was a really good trip by, nice little judo attempt there by Lovato. Back to a single leg. Lovato spins away, manages to go right back into the face of Felipe Pena. As I was saying a little bit earlier, I mean, Lovato is a year younger than me. So we old, we're more referred to as the OGs. What's up, Mobid? And yet, every time he starts these matches, he makes a stand. He says, I'm going to go out always on my shield no matter what. And he gives you a show as best he can. So I've always appreciated that. Felipe Pena also probably looking to try and win up big here. We've seen him in performances against Lovato. What's up, Kelvin? Yo, shout out Kelvin. Shout out everybody at Systems Training Center. I would have a little bit of an attempt there, and he does trip Lovato down. Originally the plan tonight was to watch this live with you guys, and I got some intel that a friend of the show was in town, and, I owed him and the many people an opportunity to go and roll, so I actually had to go do that commitment there. And you see Buchecha, man. Buchecha looks like a sketch artist drew him in this particular juncture. I don't even know if you guys can fully see or appreciate that, but I'll go ahead and pull that up right now because it is definitely a courtroom unflattering sketch artist that you can see here. And let's go ahead and pull that photo on in just a second. But anyway, Kelvin, all the nice people over at Systems Training Center, they welcomed me onto their mats tonight. I had some great training. It was so wonderful to see some old friends. And, true to form, when I show up, I'm always intrigued to see how the gyms will treat me. Systems, it's like a second family. I've known them for years, but they lined up people one by one by one by one by one. So they literally were all taking, it was like a reverse piñata. Like they were taking attempts to stab me and I was doing my best to try and take them out. And this is the photo I was referring to just a second ago. This is a sketch artist rendering of Marcus Buchecha. We love him. Shout out to him. And I also want to give a shout out to Freebird Coffee Co. Of course, they sponsor one of our very good friends in Bobby Winther. So their support means the world to him. And therefore, we very much appreciate them for getting behind good talent like Bobby. Bobby's one of the nicest human beings in the entire world. So big love and shout out to them. And, this is going about the way you think it is. And I will say this, if we're considering how this first 5-minute period is going, the fact that you have seen Pena be so much closer to takedowns, you do start to realize that this is a little more in his favor. So It is a little bit more his game on this particular juncture. And, the more I'm thinking about it, gosh, I just always think some of these cards are a little subject to changing. But I thought we were supposed to get a Diogo Baby Shark. We did not. We obviously went Nicky Ryan, Felipe Pena. I think we might have skipped over the Jasmine Rocha. Maybe we did skip past this. Oh, maybe we are just doing this. That's not a bad idea, though. Maybe it's how we have a short night here tonight. But it is a good way to test out how that is going. So there is that. Oh, I do see some comments here from Jake. We're going to have words. Am I in trouble? Let me see. Good evening. Good morning, Raph. Thank you very much, Jake. I'm seeing the comments now. It took me a second to not register them. It says, we're going to have words. Am I in trouble? No, I mean, maybe we can do it here. We'll see. And it says, the main card started with Diogo Reis and Shay Montague. Okay, so maybe I'll go back and rewatch that in a second. And it says Diogo Reis was the first match on the main card. Okay, great. I just went a little bit too far ahead. You know what threw me off? Full disclosure here, Jake. I was watching this, and this is something I think we're going to have to talk about on the show itself. So the reason I think I started it here is because there was a natural break in the action, and that break was broken by this young man. What did you do here? What is this? You were given t-shirts to throw out to the audience, and I can't see what's happening where these t-shirts are getting thrown, but I sure as hell see that hand, and I start to put one and one together, and I realize something here has gone very wrong, Jake Watson. So please tell me you did not strike some old lady in the face, because if you did, and granted, it's not a t-shirt gun, it could be deadly, and you would be liable. Oh no, you did. I beamed it at a lady. Okay, but just tell me she wasn't an elderly lady, because I feel like our elderly, the last thing we need for them to do is keel over because by a non-t-shirt gun. Oh my God. And yeah, that had to throw me, because I was sitting there thinking, oh, was this the beginning of the show? I thought that's something you do as a transition in. Yeah, totally my bad. Yeah, we'll see if we'll go back and rewatch it. Yeah, it sent me, dude. I was just sitting here minding my own business, watching this, and then all of a sudden I saw that. Oh no. She was a nice lady. She took it in stride. I gave her a t-shirt for her trouble. You better have. The only thing I was trying to figure out as you're throwing those t-shirts is if someone gets sent the wrong size. Like if you throw me a small, I'm going to be like, dude, I can't fit into this. So are they all larges? Do you even look at that? Like, this is a most important question to have. And there's a little bit of a body lock attempt here while standing up from Pena. And I didn't even see who got the first panel there. I'm just going to assume that had to be Pena just based off the work. Lovato thought he could see another snatch single there. Doesn't quite get it. So we were talking a little bit about Lovato's whole deal. Like, this dude told us last year and is building this big thing of, I'm retiring. It's my last ADCC. One more for this samurai. And then we get word this week. Nah, just kidding. He's coming back. Like, I can't ever take retirement seriously. And Lovato's a homie. He's friends. Like, I get it. Get us excited. It's just, every time they do this, I have to on the show just go, if this is the last time we do it, sounds good. But you can almost hear it in my voice where I go, yep, if you say so, if you say this is your last one, I don't know that I believe you, sir. But we have done our best to try and make that happen. What's up, Burchak? Hope all is well. By the way, Burchak, I saw a fantastic looking meme from one Kyle Chambers about checking on the baby. Like, legitimately, the way he passed guard and was checking on the stomach and hearing if there were tummy issues on the stomach. A+. Good work on that. I like this topside cam. That's good. It's probably on a jib. It's doing pretty well there. Okay. We're about to get into the second period here of 5 minutes. I'm sorry, expiring. So that's going to be it. And it says Lovato is the Brett Favre of, not in a weird way, of BJJ. Well, to my knowledge, he's not a welfare queen, so that does set them apart already. I guess it's just, I don't know, man. I thought Lovato has way more in the tank than Brett Favre did when he came back, honestly. So there is that. All right, this one, another nod for Felipe Pena. Very nice. As their Thunderdome lighting lets you know that the judges are favoring them. I mean, I don't disagree with that. Pena has been very active here. So it's confusing is that Lovato is actually in a red rash guard and Pena is in a blue rash guard. However, their colors are completely flipped. So when you see the red shining up, you take a moment and you think, wait, no, he's there. Little TV production thing. I don't think I could let somebody who's not a blue corner not wear blue. It was a nice dive there by Pena. He got stuffed by Lovato, and for a split second, Lovato thought he could maybe reverse that. Pena stands right back up, exchanging on those pummels there. And I believe that's Victor Hugo all the way in the back in the corner, which would make sense. Lovato looking very focused. He tries to bull charge in. Now, see, I like that for people our age. Lovato is taller than me, but when you kind of point that head directly in, sometimes you can't get all the way for a shot all the way down. Like if you have it, just a little tip here. For those of us who are old, to those of you who are young, you only have so many shots. And I know that there's a 44-year-old who qualified for the Olympics. Exception, my friends. A lot of us are not there. It says the lighting was actually the fault of the College Park Center. Fun fact. Got the opportunity to hear the chagrin of the Flow crew in that regard. Oh. Well, I actually like the lighting. I don't know that it's bad. I just think that wearing the rash guards, if you are a red corner and you're wearing red, you would assume you're the red corner. And I get that we're a weird sport where you can have individuality that includes certain hints or colors. It's just not on my watch. If I'm a studio network executive, I was like, wait, they just shine that red, but he not red. Why he win? So that's all. But yeah, I'll definitely love getting more context about that later. What's up, Johnny? Johnny Calistine. Good to see you, my friend. I hope all is well. You put up something that made me laugh incredibly today. I believe you did, actually. Yeah, it was the Eddie Cummings smiling like a psycho, saying how much he loves breaking people's legs with good entanglements. And I was just like, what a wild life we lived back then. Like, of course, this dude was unhinged all the way back in the day. I mean, Pena is going to win this by decision, so that checks out. Okay, great. It's minute 50 left to go. He's still trying to pass. Lovato has a nice little hook on that leg, loses it. And Pena's back to where he's best, which is just working as an incredible, exhaustive passer. I guess on paper, this one makes a little bit more fun sense than doing it most other ways. Because I don't know about this, but we're getting to a point where, okay, JT Torres, I know he wants the big challenges. I know he's up for it. But again, like the whole Nicky Ryan career was always like, this dude is like 10 years older than Nicky Ryan. Uriah Faber is way more than 10 years older than Nicky Ryan when he matched up against him. Like, I need to start instituting some Masters divisions here. That's going to be 1 minute left. Lovato trying to create some kind of guard here. There's Pedro Moreno. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong here. I thought Pedro Moreno was on this card too. So maybe these things are just starting to blur together. But I thought he was on it. He's clearly, obviously there to corner Felipe Pena, and I did see them in Instagram stories kind of being buddy-buddy, but I did have like a a solid minute. What's up, Misfits Club? Good to see you guys. We need to get some training in very soon. Yeah, Lovato, not really going to get this leg, but there is 20 seconds left, so he's going to at least make a good effort to kind of invert. It's not quite going to happen. You can't necessarily get that bounce back and forth, but all the respect in the world for trying that, and they're basically going to get to the expiration. Ooh, nice little invert there. Oh, I forgot something. We do a toast to those who get finishes within regulation, so we will do a toast to one Nicky Bryan. Lovato putting up a number one. It's very strange. Like, I don't know that you can really do that. They're going to go to the replay, so a lot of these are going to be very favorable to Felipe Pena, and some of these takedown attempts. We're seeing a lot more of you guys showing up right now. Thank you so much. I know it is super late, and normally my apologies would be in this place, but the fact that you were up late means you're probably playing video games, you were bored, you got excited, you wanted to see what the hell we were doing. Any one of these things is a completely valid answer. So my thanks to you for having some fun with us late tonight, wherever you're watching, be it Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We love and appreciate all that you guys do for us here at the show. And we're about to hear, if I am correct, and I believe that I am, Felipe Pena is going to take this match. So when he does, I think we are going to just try and bypass to where the voiceover. Yep, now we're at Kendall. So let's see what she has to say. I got to mute here for a second. So he starts by saying, I'm not always known for my top game, but I pulled guard here. Or I didn't pull guard here, but I normally do pull guard. But with Lovato, you got to do something different. I almost took him down, didn't quite get it. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So now Kendall was asking about the leg entry at the very end. I think Kendall's about to ask who he wants next. And he says ADCC is his next focus. Oh, he's looking for he's angling for the Victor Hugo match now. By the way that he says Victor Hugo is the way I want to start saying it. He's like, Victor Hugo? It's amazing. I wish I had that accent. I butchered the way he said it, but it's there. It's good. But he does say, respectfully, oh, there's a shot of Jake Watson. I see him back on there. I got the thumbs up, which means great. All right, I may go backwards here. Let me see what matches that I did miss. So I obviously did not get us right up top here. Okay, so this is the Montague and Baby Shark match. So let's do this. Jake, let me see what you're talking about here, because you did put something in the chat and I don't feel I'm well equipped enough to know that. So give me a second here. Yeah, okay, I see your note. Let's get to that right now. Boom. Let's see. Oh no. Sorry, I just took this off for myself. Everything went away. Okay, so when I come down here, I want to pull your comment onto the screen. So it said, I gave Flo some ideas for the next time I want to ring announce. Let's come back to that in a second here. And it says, I want them to play a short 10-second highlight, name and slate, followed by them walking out to the ring, then next athlete, then me. I don't know that I need the 10-second highlight, but I do think you're right. I do think they shouldn't just be waiting for the call. I think you almost want them to hit their mark right as you peak on it. So they should probably actually hang longer on you, if I'm being honest. Yeah, hang longer on you and then go cut to them right when they're going to do the smoke. Like, I think just having them chill out there makes it seem like, I didn't have anything else to do. Let's get this thing over with. Who's this guy? Who am I facing? What's going on? Oh, am I on? Hey, So it is that. I will say Shay's mustache is, Also, who was Diogo supposed to go up against? Was this always the match? Because we got it number 2 versus the non-ranked, which I guess would lead me to think it's not quite the question that we're answering on who's number 1 in this one, but it is that. And it says, introducing them in front of me to increase suspense and excitement. So I think, I think big time feel. I think for them, they should 100% make the lights go a little bit darker for those main event matches. And I'm not sure that they don't. I'll see more tonight. So, yep. Baby Shark, not wasting any time, energy for days. Shay doing some excellent guard retention, though, making sure he's not going to get past that easily. But if anybody's going to do it, I mean, Baby Shark is a very solid grappler. And it says, I just feel like the waiting for them on screen while I announce allows for some weirdness on a live broadcast where if they're with me on the mat, it increases the on-screen dynamics. Yeah, I would save that for the main event, but I would definitely, I would hang the camera on you longer. I think that's the answer to go to, because you're the constant. You're the one that's keeping us very interested. You could do the UFC version. I just don't think without music like that, it just doesn't quite hit the same. So yeah, I mean, the nice part about the PGF was we did have a curtain, and that did make a little bit of a difference in how that played out there. So just some stuff to consider. But yeah, I don't see any problem with them hanging on you. What is that? That is hanging off of Did he have his belt on the entire 2 minutes into this match? Oh no. I have to go back to catch that. I just thought, did Baby Shark have an umbilical cord still? That is one of the wildest things I have ever seen. Oh my God. I'm rewinding that. Because I was just like, how does he have a tail? I'm used to it for Gi. What I'm not used to is having some sort of ringside or referee be right there to pick up the slack and be like, hey, bud, Uh, can't be having your tail. Can't be having your belt right there, my bud. Let me go ahead and put this on here for you guys. Oh my god, this one did me in. So just so you guys get some context of why I'm giggling like an idiot right now. Here's what's going on. What is this? What is this? It's just so great. Like, I get the fact that you want to make things go and you don't want to waste any time, but legitimately, when I saw him sporting a tail, I thought, wait, I'm not seeing what I'm seeing, right? No, it's still on him. Okay, great. The simplest answer, always the right and the best. So, woo! In this case, I'm actually glad that I did them out of order because that's the biggest laugh line I think I'm gonna have out of anything there. So full disclosure, Jake, it says, that's a good point. Well, brother, I look forward to the bullpen this week. I'm gonna go to bed. LOL. Was my ring announcing okay? I have snippets, and from a standpoint, it sounded good. I have minor notes I can give, but by and large, you sounded good. I was pleased. Like, if you weren't good, I wasn't going to do the bullpen with you anymore. So we're doing bullpen next Wednesday. But yeah, man, I think you should be just fine. For me, minutia notes are not like, oh man, Jake, you are really dogging it up. It's always like, hey man, let's talk off air. Maybe elongate here, hold this. Those are smaller notes. But you also wear a 3-piece suit. I'm pro that. You're tall. Tall people can wear 3-piece suits. I might want a hint of color in the tie. White on white was a little much for me. That's my main note. Honestly, of everything. Very nice. Love you, Raph. All notes are good notes. Not necessarily. I can always have bad notes. But yes, they are intended to be intentionally good notes that make you better. But I thought you were good. And like I said, it's always stuff that I go, oh, yeah, that's worth talking to or bringing that up. Anyway, Jake, get some rest. You're on Texas time, so get out of here, bud. Meanwhile, we're here watching Baby Shark look to either pedigree or powerbomb Shay. I mean, Shay's tripoding completely with that head and that bleached hair. It's just a wild, weird matchup. There is like a little duck under here to sit back into guard. He does almost launch Baby Shark, who's starting to shore up a little bit of a Darce very sneakily, and he does get the tap. Well done, Baby Shark. It looked more like a waddle than I don't know what that was. It's a very strange thing. Okay, we're going to go probably to the interview with Baby Shark. So let's see what he has to say here. He gets the hand raise. Boom, boom, replay, fast forwarding, all of that. Baby Shark draped in his flag. Let's hear what he has to say with Kendall. Okay, he's going into Portuguese. I'll start saying it. He was just saying it's been a while since he's been there, but he's glad to get the submission win. Submission wins are hard to come by, but he's pretty happy about it. And now back into Portuguese. Kendall saying you've already got a huge resume. What's next? So, what I love about Baby Shark is he finishes his sentence in English and he finishes this thought and then he just goes, all right, and Portuguese now. So he's got the right mentality. That's very good. He's making a note of the situation in Brazil and the terrible conditions that people are facing. So he's giving his heart and his compliments and his thoughts to them. And very nicely, he's donating a portion of his proceeds that he won here tonight to the recovery efforts in Brazil. Very nice of him. Baby Shark in our interactions has always been a stand-up kid. However, he has not come on the show yet. So we're going to chat, young man. Okay. He's in Portuguese. I can't translate any of that. So, good stuff from Baby Shark here tonight. Looks like that's going to conclude the interview for him. Yeah, I think are those fins that he's doing? It's very, very ambiguous. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the spaced outness of that audience. So normally if you have like a little bit lower of an audience in terms of a bigger venue, you want them to be a little tightened in. It's just hard when people are like, well, I can sit anywhere I want. And you're like, yeah, you can. Just would you sit somewhere where we need you to sit? So anyway, this is Jasmine. This is Emily. Very close age, exact height, very similar weight, very similar. And Emily is not ranked, but that's a huge opportunity to have a match against Jasmine, who has been on a tear. She just won the ADCC trials and is a very game competitor and already off to the races. Tight in on this leg. She should probably finish right here, but she is not done yet. But that's only 15 seconds. And if memory serves me right, I believe her brother ended up getting a huge win in a short amount of time. What's up, Victor? Good to see you, brother. So, advancing. What a great sweep there. Basically grabs the leg, pulls herself in, closes the knees, and just kind of moves them to the side. And that takes out part of the balance of Emily. Really, really good sweep there by one Jasmine. Really, really good stuff. So really fun. I'm gonna try and hit that one, I think, this week if I can, or if I can remember it. That's always the hardest part about watching these, is you go from like, oh, definitely gonna try that, to I can't remember it. Jasmine Rocha back to a little bit of an open guard, trying to grip on this arm, pull down, isn't quite doing it, advanced by the butt scoot, and trying to get some kind of attachment, whether it's one of the legs or just trying to trip it out ever so slightly. As you mentioned, an ADCC trials winner. She had a great run. She has been murking it, but one of her most recent performances was here against Fiona. And I mean, coming up short against Fiona is nothing to laugh at. I mean, Fiona's a beast, and I think she's carving out a very interesting path for herself. Although, you know, it's weird. I didn't see anything that she said go viral yesterday. If anything, I saw her father go viral in his interactions with Meregali. You know, these roaches definitely, they'll put on a show whenever they're at the press conference. So that whole thing was confusing, and I'll come back to it. You know, it's always very interesting when both parties are like, definitely won that exchange. And it's like, I don't think anybody won that. Like, nobody won that press conference exchange, if we're being honest. So there's that. Back to kind of a knee shield here. You're going to see Emily. I mean, Emily has her opportunity to pass. It's very difficult to do, I think, on Jasmine. So let's do some reminders here. We have to do cheers to Nicky, Ryan, and Diogo. Baby Shark. I guess the idea is like, how long until he's not a baby shark? You know what I mean? Like, he's kind of a grown man. So I don't know how long I really want to call a kid who's not a kid a baby shark. Like, you can be a grown man shark or like a regular dude shark. We're gonna hit a certain point. Jasmine trying for that old Nick sort of a attachment there, going for that Nogi Ezekiel. Doesn't quite get it, but attaching yourself quite like a koala there. The way that they spread out the flow team behind that electric panel is very intriguing. I mean, points for creativity here, because Jasmine Rocha, even when she can't like bend the arm for an armbar in the perfect way, is still trying to force it against parts of the knees or to make it go incongruent. So that means like if she's got a fulcrum point, she's using the arm in an opposite direction to push against it. And it's good. It's just showing like any little edge you can get, just try it. Throw it to the wall, see what sticks. And by the way, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate you guys joining us. I do have to ask the question, what the hell are you doing up this late? I know what I'm doing. I'm psychotic with my work. And if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be editing our new interview, which, by the way, if you want to know who our new interview is with, I can maybe give you a little bit of a preview. I don't want to say who it is, okay? I don't. Now, that's not to say I won't show you who it is. So that means, yeah, I definitely have a person in mind who is kind of notable. He's had some good moments. He may have some other good moments coming up in the near future. So without, I guess, giving too much away and saying who it is, you can just maybe make some inferences on who's coming up very soon here at the show. Oh no. We just had an unfortunate, looks like an injury here, but let's go ahead and see how that finish did happen here. Yeah, within the blink of a second here, Jasmine gets the reap over on it, and it doesn't take much. Just a beautiful finish, the right amount of pressure. Emily's feeling it on the knee. Jasmine's checking in on her. Yeah, but congratulations, Jasmine Rocha. And you're going to see Emily get carried off of the mats, unfortunately. So there is that. All right, we're going to go to the interview. I'll have to mute you for a second, but I'll be right back. I like that she's giving props to her brother. Like, hey, I didn't finish in the same amount of time, but I got it done. The rest of the summer. Kendall's asking, how does it feel like after a great season and one that led into an ADCC win? She's telling you she's a superstar and she's here to win. She's calling her shot, saying whoever wins that next women's match on the next card, she wants it. All right, so that goes ahead and effectively gets us back to where we were. There were some Matt White downs. Okay, so they did announce the next who's number one. Let's see what this is all about. It is going to be, oh Jesus, I can't read what the shit that says. That is an incredibly tiny font. So let's see. Pardon mine here. Oh my God. What trivia is this bullshit? They're literally doing Don't Stop Believing lyrics? Why? What is the point of this? Oh my goodness. Okay. You know what? Fine. Fine. It's just, I thought they were telling us who's on the next card, but instead, okay, it is Thursday, June 20th is the next Who's Number One. It will be back in Austin, Texas. So shout out them for getting that. I'd like to know who's on the card. I would assume this would be the time to say it. Jake Watson gets some interview time. I will watch that at a later time and date. Okay. Now we're going into the pre-package for Langaker and for one Andrew Tackett. All right. Andrew Tackett fixing the hair. I mean, we're seeing this young man mature in a big way, but he's got a big task in front of him with the Viking. One, Tommy Langaker, who, just for our money, always fun to watch. To me, honestly, this is the main event. Like, this was the match I was really excited about on paper. And, you know, I forget. I mean, I know Andrew is young. Tommy's 30, which is not old, but if you see how fast Andrew Tackett can move, it can play a difference. And Tommy's coming in ranked at number 7. And you do have one Tackett at number 4 already with the grips. Tommy getting some excellent starts to it, but Tackett almost getting a leg there in the wrestling exchanges, has time to fix his hair a couple times. I have to say, that's kind of like Tackett's version of stunting on these hoes. Like, he's not fully disrespectful in any way, but he does have his moments of kind of going there, of kind of seeing if he can get under your skin. And I think that'll change as he gets a little bit older. But he kind of does get Langaker to force pull guard here. And you're seeing Tackett very, very, very slowly pick his spots. He does kind of go to a body lock, goes almost inside the guard, decides to step back up. And you're going to see the guard work here of Tommy Langaker. And it's going to take a while to really like make that impression. Tackett pinning a leg down, tries to go to the opposite side, doesn't quite get there just yet. Langaker tried to arm drag here. Maybe comes up on a little bit of a wrestle up, has a front headlock, maybe is going to try and shuck him down. Probably may have some resistance from young William Tackett, who, oh my God, what a great read. What a monster this kid is. In the effect of looking to get taken down, reads it, jumps over, and now finds himself in guard. Tommy's trying to attack. Tackett slightly lifts him up. Langaker tries to, I guess, go to a higher guard. And with ease, Andrew Tackett lifts him back up. The legs are very high on that guard, and Tackett does manage to get him to open them back up. And now is looking to kind of pass there. So good energy in just the first 2 minutes of this match. And legitimately, I think that Tommy Langaker felt like he was a little too aggressive and kind of shakes the back of the head of one Andrew Tackett to say like, hey, buddy, I know I didn't mean that one as much. Which, very good sportsmanship on both sides here. Tackett with a beautiful read, almost gets swapped though. There's a leg exchange. He does find himself in a little bit of trouble, floats over as Langaker commits a little bit too much to this guillotine. Now, here's the thing. I'm sure Tackett is just eating it a little bit, but it's going to be worth it because he has the higher ground. Langaker's kind of shooting his legs up to see if maybe he can go to a back take here. I'm going to assume, though, that Tackett is going to be able to fend it off and instead allows him to go ahead and go back to an open guard. Returns back to passing, kind of with the knee directing, shin, trying to create some kind of pressure, some kind of reaction from Tommy Langaker here. Very interesting movement here by both these gentlemen. And Parabellum Jiu-Jitsu, good to see you. Thank you for joining us here on this now Saturday morning. It's wild that we're doing this, right? Am I right? Woo! Woo! Is this a back take I see before my eyes? Good Lord. Incredibly jealous here of this young man. That was smooth. I'm going to have to see that fully in the replay here. Tackett not giving up, going for a power half while with one hook. Now he goes to almost kind of like this quarter while still attacking the back in the turtle position for one Tommy Langaker. He's going to probably try to get him over to the side here in just a second, but excellent mechanics here by young Tackett. Tommy having to be relegated. You know, I did like the jib, but I do not think it is white balanced. So I do take that back. For whatever reason, it's like a weird, it's a LUT that's on it, or it's not quite white balanced perfectly. So now it's starting to bother me. I did like it before, just from the perspective of seeing the jiu-jitsu. But now that I'm having more and more time to actually analyze it, I'm like, oh my goodness, that is a beautiful arm trap there by Tackett on the Viking, Tommy Langaker. Oh my God. What a beautiful seatbelt grip. And now switching to maybe attack the arms into a makeshift crucifix. Now trying to get underneath the chin. Tommy reading it. Tackett not even losing a step. Now getting to a body triangle, trying to force down one Tommy Langaker. And you get the feeling, and I don't know that I would ever coach in the same way as William Tackett, but if you're William Tackett, you're probably telling him slow down a little bit, man. Any sudden movements that you make may give a little bit back to Tommy, where, yeah, in the first 5 minutes, those are definitely Tackett opening round, first 5 minutes moments. So kudos on that. I mean, guys, there was a reason why I was most excited for this one. I try to be very objective about this, and we have a lot of friends on the show. What's up, the MC Dade? I want to say it has more to McDade. Is that more like I read it as like the McDad at first, but I'm pretty sure I was just using my my dyslexia taking over a little bit right there. Beautiful body triangle though. I mean, Tommy's just looking at the ref like, dude, I don't want to be here. Can I slip you a 20 and we just stand up again? Because this, no bueno. He's trying to shake him off. Tackett doing some excellent work to maintain this position and kind of opts to this power half again. It's a very powerful position that you can utilize, honestly. Most people use it from turtle to kind of disrupt the balance of their opponent. Now, Tackett's starting to get a little bit under the chin. He gets shaken off ever so slightly, but still, body triangle still on. And you do see in this kind of makeshift turtle position, William Langaker just continuing to fight for his life, making sure that he can keep Andrew Tackett from closing this deal. He has already been in this position for a fair amount of time, and that just starts to wear on you. Tackett now looking at the arm, seeing what he can do in those particular situations, putting them aside, hopefully trying to give himself some time to get underneath the chin. And Langaker just, oh, he's starting to flat him out right now. Oof. Now opting to take the back while on the mat. Langaker steps back over, doing some excellent small mechanics here. And he does get the tap. William Tackett is a wild man going over to his corner. Love and hugs all right there. I do see this. It says, bro, go to sleep. No, man, we got work to do. What the fuck are you talking about? I still have research to do, my friend. But thank you. That advice is well taken from a dude who plays Warcraft until, what, 3 a.m. in the morning? You go to bed. Man, no, if anything, you're the right person to be watching here. Andrew Tackett, really, really good in this. Like, he had the back on Tommy Langaker. You do see Tommy Langaker kind of holding his side right there, just from that body triangle pressure. Tommy Langaker, very much known as being a tough ass Viking dude. And that is no easy task. He really, really just masterclassed this. We'll see what he has to say here in a second, but oof, what a great performance from this rising superstar, which I guess is all the more reason we need to bring him back on the show, right? I respect the reps, though. I understand. Yeah, bro, we don't get sleep, man. Sleep is for people who don't have shit to do. Let me see what I'm seeing here, though. Let's pull this back on this side. And, I will tell you this, Milt, I am experimenting with what I shot to you a little bit earlier today. So it is playing quite nicely. And I have to say, I am quite pleased with the results thus far in. And it says, I respect and understand. I see you tomorrow, Coach. Love you. Likewise, brother. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing the fruits of your labor and your team's labor tomorrow. It'll be a very, very fun day. I will be actually, what he's referring to is commentating for me, but fighting for the team. Our team goes to work tomorrow, and we're super stoked to see Elliot Agayo back at Spar Star. Is this 60? Yeah, this is going to be fucking fire, dude. Elliot's been cooking up in the kitchen, man, and love that kid. Can't wait to see him go to work. It's just a good day. Good day there. Let's see what Andrew Tackett has to say on this microphone. I'm very pleased to see him win, and man, this kid, he always has a giant smile on his face. So let us hear, and I'll give you some recaps of what he says. He's given props to Tommy, saying he's been watching him since he was a kid, which was like a week ago. Jesus shout out. A lot of concern about his hair right now. Kendall says, this is probably your biggest win. How do you feel? Basically says, jiu-jitsu math doesn't work. I mean, maybe it does, but yeah, whatever. Basically says, we need to just fix our diet, really, is what it is. And he closes one thing. He just says he loves everybody. Let's go. Very nice kid. Good work from that young man. Just always impressive. You're seeing the maturity of him every single time he steps on the mats. And there's another Tackett in the weight, in the wings, in Caleb right there. So they're showing on Thursday, June 20th. You got Pato versus Andre. So that should be a good match. That is for the featherweight championship. Sounds good. You got Jacob Couch versus Lowe. That is happening as well on that card. Cool. Now, I saw those two posters on social media. I'm not sure if that is all we're getting here tonight, but a decent start to it, at least for the beginning stages of how that card is going to take place here tonight. So very pleased with that. Let's go ahead and start advancing this tape. Guys, that's going to take us up to our main event, I think. I see there's still a lot of time on there. Are they trying to do a pre and post show like some people? This is a good time to plug our stuff. So if you guys haven't seen our pre and post show, a lot of fun. It's me, Jake Watson, Tim Freeman, and we're looking to expand it and bring it around and do some more fun stuff with it. And I actually got a very nice note from one of the gentlemen who participated in the PGF who was like, are you guys doing more of those? And the answer is yes. We actually are doing them weekly. So we actually brought the format that we were doing from my show to the PGF, but we debuted it on my show about 6 weeks. We got some reps as a team to go ahead and bring you a quality program, and I really do think we do that. And we're looking to bring it to some other organizations. So if you know of any organization that you'd like to see a good pre and post show that feels like Sports Center and that feels like other shows where they have talk around panels for sports, then call your boys, because quite frankly, I don't see anybody doing it like we do it. That doesn't mean they're going to start, but they won't quite be the same. And they definitely won't be the first. So call your boys. Let us know what you guys want to see from the three of us. And we're in talks with some folks, and hopefully we'll have some announcements in the near future. But for right now, we look at the tail of the tape of your main event, which is Nicholas Meregali and Vagner Rocha. So that is what's going to take place in front of your eyes. Maybe it already has, but definitely in front of mine. 14:55 on my clock right now. This is interesting, man, because Vagner Rocha, in my opinion, like, this is a tough match for him. You know, Wagner's been an OG in the game for a long period of time. He's always a game competitor to go up against a number of big, huge profile folks. But Meregali is kind of in his best era. Like, when you're looking at what this dude is accomplishing right now, like, this is his time. So Vagner going up against one of those prime athletes in their moments, in their time, it's a choice. It's tough to do. So I don't envy him having this kind of a task. But even right now, within the first minute of just grips, you're seeing Vagner kind of strike him as if he's setting up jabs. It's not even really to get distance, but it's just pushing him away. And it's not quite the same as a fight. If anything, it's almost a defensive mechanism, because you're seeing Meregali not have to expand too much energy. Look for a little bit of a judo throw there. Wagner kind of smiles it off, but it wasn't that far off. It was a good start there. We look now, Wagner circling out. He has two hands on one of the hands of Nicholas Meregali. Doesn't quite move him, but Meregali's just, at this point, stalking him like Freddy versus Jason. Like, moving down, Wagner tries to grab around that leg. The thing I don't love about this is, okay, there is a noticeable difference when you do get over 40. Like, wrestling just doesn't come easy. I say this as the person who is over 40. And people are like, hey, are you going to work on your wrestling? And I'm like, as much as I can. It's not quite the same. So even faking a shot, like, it is very difficult to get somebody to bite. And let alone if Nicholas Meregali does take the bait and does bite on it, he probably still has time to really respond and really react. I was mentioning this a little bit earlier, but it bears repeating now. It was batshit insane that, for whatever reason, these two were getting into it at the press conference, and it was weird. I'm pretty sure Wagner, who is a religious guy, was taking some charge in with one Nicholas Meregali referring to himself as a god, which, by the way, I didn't know that the qualifications to being a god was just to be good at jiu-jitsu. Like, not a super religious person, but, you know, like to think maybe there were some commandments that were written down or something. I don't know. If only he left us some kind of text that we would know what definitions are, like sacrilege or weird, do not, false god, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, what do I know? I just know that whenever you see that stuff, you just go, this feels weird. Like, why would you think you're a god if you just pass guard well? Now, reversal of what happened a little bit earlier. You saw Wagner in the coaching corner, and you're seeing his daughter, Jasmine, take that head coach position. They have the camera on her, and both these gentlemen are just still on the feet here. Now, this is where things get interesting, because you've essentially seen Wagner kind of come in with these jab defensive strikes that you would teach in like a self-defense class. And if you're looking at who's done more action, Wagner's pushed him while backing up. So in the first 5 minutes, how did the judges score that? Because there really hasn't been action by Meregali. He's just basically swatted it away. And yeah, Wagner, I mean, similarly looked for that snatch single. I mean, this may not be a bad pitch to put out there, but I think maybe we should explore a Wagner versus Lovato again, because similar age, a little bit more accurate of a comparison between the two competitors. I'm just trying to remember. I mean, it always takes me a second to jog the memory, but at the very least, it just feels a little bit more like, oh, I think you would actually potentially see a takedown here. Because I'm looking at this and, I don't know that I've seen it. I feel like that should be a slam dunk. Like, we should make that one. Vagner saying you got poked in the eye. Okay. Let's take a look at it. I had my head down. I guess I could be willing to believe him. But let's see here for a second. Oh, maybe it was like an accidental headbutt more than that. Okay. Let's just bypass this. Get back to where we were. He's taking a few seconds. And they're just showing weird Midnight Cowboy Gordon Ryan sitting next to John Danaher, who's in a rash guard. Like, how do we put this? Like, only in our sport does this kind of make sense. Because I don't know that you could tell other people in other sports, like, oh, yeah, these are kind of our guys. Like, this is their fashion statement. So if you don't get it, you just don't get fashion. But just kind of getting the weirdness aside, like, you know what they feel like? Honestly, they feel like rejected eras from Beyonce at this point is kind of where we're going. And you'll understand more when I show you the exact, like, yeah, the split between these two. Like, what are we doing here, guys? It's just, from a still shot, it makes absolutely no sense, but is what it is. All right, a little game of mercy here. It's going to be the first 5 minutes, and we'll see who they score with here. Looking at the lighting coming in, and they are going for Meregali. And again, I guess it makes sense. It's kind of who I would picture. It's just, even for what he's doing, Vagner is doing the best he can to make it a fight, like active. It's just Meregali's probably the one that's closer to getting that. And that's why I think this is so confusing, because if you see Vagner against other 40-year-olds, you're going to be like, oh, he's pushing the action. He's a beast. Here, it's a little more neutralized, that he has to be a little more nuanced in how he moves and how much space he gives. Because here now we're at a front headlock from Meregali. Looks for a trip. Almost a duck under there for one Vagner Rocha, who's now, I like this. The utilization of the head position there was really good. And there was a little bit of a swing that happens that almost takes him off his feet, but he returns to standing back up, and he forces a Granby roll that kind of just awkwardly gets put straight head to mat. And Vagner being forced to play guard here, and Meregali very effortlessly, easily passing. Vagner now holding on for dear life. There's a lot at risk here, I would say, more than anything. You know, I know he's holding on to those arms for dear life, but that leg also was looking a little bit in danger there for a split second. And Meregali eases into a side control, hoists up that arm, takes a second, doesn't let up, but lets the arm have some space to breathe, if only to be brought back down ever so slightly. Well done there. What's up, Danny Pitbull? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Can't believe you guys were up this late. It is 1 a.m. here on Best Coast time, 1:10 to be specific. And this is our last match that we're going to be watching here tonight. And honestly, we've done it in a fraction of the time we would have been doing the Who's Number One coverage. So maybe not the worst idea. I don't know, it's the best idea, but definitely not the worst. 7:41 in regulation here, and you do have Meregali in mount, and you get the sense he's just looking to just take his time, not do anything crazy here. Meregali has been super effective in a majority of his big time matches, and now with a body triangle, which, yep, it wasn't there for a split second. It looked like he was going to go to 3/4. Instead, body triangle firmly in place. He has some time to work the back. Not just any amount of time, 7:10 to be specific. And it looks like he's talking. I think it's to his corner and maybe exchanging, or I don't know. He looks a little possessed from this angle. I don't quite know what he is espousing here, but this is what happens when people exhibit signs of mania, but he is definitely in the winning column right now as he is looking to take the back. So here's where things get a little weird, because I know he's taking the page from Gordon where they pull the magician trick of like, get that envelope. What did I write in there? If you thought I wrote arm triangle, bang, you win bingo. So you do see that every so often. And I wonder if that's exactly what he's trying to do here to prove a point. It's very cool that you can do that. I don't really have that in my arsenal. It just feels like sometimes it is more for their benefit than for any of us who are watching on TV being like, why did you give up like 5 other submissions, bro? And the answer could just be that it's just that easy for them to get the submission. Having said that, I don't know. I don't know that you love that if you're a TV guy. And that's what we're trying to make here. We're about a minute away from getting a second vote of confidence from the judges if we have to even go that route. We may be done here because that back is still compromised. We're seeing the use of a power half here once again. Vagner trying to make a stand and get up to his knees, but that body triangle is just so firm. It is really difficult to get out of that position. Now you're seeing Meregali start to get some advancement here between all of the grips. Vagner had to commit to one arm, saw an escape route, thought he had his Shawshank escape, didn't quite make it, doesn't stop, and does for a split second have to take a breather if he can get any oxygen in at this point, honestly. And I mean, it wears on you. And we're about to see the blue light go off here in the next 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's going to be 5 minutes left to go, but that is most assuredly going to be a blue period, or I'm sorry, a red period for Nicholas Meregali. And you know what? Shout out to Nicholas Meregali. I must compliment this. He is the red corner and he is wearing a red rash guard. So that is good. I can affirm that is a solid thing because we have seen what happens when people don't wear that. So womp womp indeed. This is not fun if you are Vagner. You have been in this position for now a long period of time. You're getting the sense, nope, you thought it was going to be a head and arm choke. And it does look like, again, Nicholas Meregali, and having to let the body triangle go is, he was signposting maybe for a head and arm choke, but it's looking like he wants to reestablish that back control, which he does. We have a body triangle again with another attempt of trying to get a rear naked choke here. And in doing so, he may have a little bit more compromised of a position for Vagner Rocha. Vagner still just rolling as much as he can out of it. This time, maybe a little bit behind on the hands, but now bringing both arms up to just play some defense here. 3:42 left on the clock. Switch of the legs here by Meregali, and now a grip underneath the body as he lets go of that body triangle and now is in that quarter mount. We'll see if he is able to transition out of it. I mean, it's exhausting to see this and to get into that. There was a power half thought, and they very quickly stopped. So we're back to normal here. Nothing much to do for Vagner, like in terms of that he's not trying to do. I mean, he's putting up shots on the clock. The good news is he did get out of back control. The bad news is he finds himself unable to get a moment just to even collect his thoughts or even just to move. Meregali, 2-on-1s this hand, almost go right back to a gift wrap to take the back once again. If he did have anything on an envelope, you do get the sense that it's probably a rear naked choke and maybe he's just not getting it. And for a split second, I also thought maybe he was trying to get one of those Rotolo guillotines. Hard to say. He is running short on time, though. 2:26 left to go. Vagner gave him a peek of looking like he was going to just stay in that position. Meregali maybe showing some signs of frustration. Vagner is hard to put away. There's the armbar right now. Vagner is in deep trouble. This is really bad. I think that grip is going to be kind of broken here. The feet are crossed by Meregali. He switches the legs very quickly. Vagner trying to get some momentum. He's trying to get up to his knees. And Meregali has it, the arm broken, And that is going to do it for Nicholas Meregali. Just exhausting Vagner to the point where it seemed like once he had just the underneath grip under that elbow, it was just in due time. Meregali comes over to shake the hands of Gordon and Coach John Danaher. And it does look like he's about to get a hand raise. He's now making the shrug emoji to the camera. And I think kisses his arm. So we'll see what they have to say here in a second. Vagner goes over to shake his hand. We will get, I think it's a replay first. And then we will see what Meregali has to say in response to this performance. Kendall has him. Let's hear what he has to say. So he's saying, I didn't get the armbar the last time, so it kind of weighed on me. So I decided I'd try to get it now, but Wagner's he's kind of hard to get it on.
Really important question.
Long story short, he basically said his English is perfect. It's not, but okay. I mean, 2 languages, very difficult. Okay, well, Nick basically said that he will not be competing anymore until ADCC, where he will try to make that double gold exposition run that he really wants to go out and finish. Good on him. I still think the red carpet is weird. Oh, I don't want to see this. No. So they basically just went behind the curtain. And they had a curtain that basically blocks off part of what is just an empty arena. Like it's like you're down at the very bottom of an arena, except once they go past the curtain, it breaks the illusion of like, what's behind there? They must have so much stuff. Like that's the whole reason you put up a curtain, so that you can kind of give something there. It's very strange. Okay, well, let's talk about the people that we have to do cheers for. First, we're going to start off here with Nicky Ryan. Nicky Ryan, congratulations to you, young man. That was an excellent performance. You went out there, you beasted it. You beat one of our good homies in JT Torres. You looked spectacular. Like, if that's how we're looking for the rest of the year, dude, I'm really much looking forward to a even stronger performance at ADCC this year. So kudos to you. Congratulations to you. That was really, really awesome to see. And listen, JT, we love the shit out of you, man. So I know you'll come back stronger, and I can't wait to see you at ADCC as well. Let's do our next cheers, our next little toast to one William Tackett. No, just kidding. Andrew Tackett. My apologies. It's very late. Andrew Tackett. Young man, where are you? You're supposed to be on this show. You know you're supposed to be on this show. And, well, it looks like now we have more to talk about. So I think I can kind of get over that. But I do have to tell you this. You need to make your way over to this show as soon as possible. Like, we need to talk about your Who's Number One performance against the very game, the very spectacular Tommy Langaker. And we need to talk about your incredible ADCC trials run, which we said we were going to do, but now, time to pay the maker. So let's get you on the show. Congratulations for tonight. You're a beast. We love the shit out of you. Big ups to you, sir. Let's do, I think there's, what is it? Baby Shark. This toast goes on out to Baby Shark himself, Diogo. Diogo, you also have supposed to have been on the show as well. We love you much. We'd hope to get you back on. And I mean, listen, bro, you're killing it out there. That is so incredible of you to donate a portion of your proceeds to Brazil, to what's going on over there right now. So you got a good heart and a good mind on yourself. So big ups to you, my man. And cheers. And we hope all is well, my friend. All right, you guys. I think that's going to do it for us. Let's go through some things. So tomorrow night, or I guess tonight now, if you're looking at it, because it's 1 a.m. Tonight at 5 p.m., I will be back on the microphone for Spar Star 60. I've been a commentator for it for a number of events, and I'm very stoked to be a part of this one. We have one of our Mama's very own, Elliot Agayo, who is going to be competing on that. He is in a fight tomorrow night, and I'm very stoked for him to do his work. So look out for him. Look out for a lot of people who are very young and up and coming monsters, going to be doing it up big over that way. Continuing on, we do have Cody Steele, who's going to be joining us on the show very soon. We recorded the interview today, so we just have to do the editing. And for our Patreon users, if you go to patreon.com, you can see my interviews 30 days before anybody else. And for a few extra dollars for our premium members, you get the ability to see tape studies and breakdowns. And we actually did a tape study of his last fight. And I learned a lot just hearing how he talks and specifically what it is that he likes to do. So I was very, very pleased to do that segment. You can find that if you are a premium Grappling Hour member on Patreon. So I very much include all of that sort of fun stuff. So early access, $5. The premium members go for $10. So that supports me, it supports the show, and helps me to create so much more content. I also want to tell you guys, we are bringing back Running the Gauntlet. Running the Gauntlet has been a very fun show. We had to take a few weeks off for production for both Subversive and PGF, but we are back. It'll be weekly. I think we may do Monday. We're waiting to see how we're booking things and if I have something coming up on that day, but it will be this coming week. And we will also have a new installment of the bullpen with my good friends Jake Watson and Tim Freeman, where we'll be talking about all the latest issues in BJJ and grappling. So not just that stuff, but also the MMA stuff. We kind of cover a little bit of everything. As a reminder, if you guys have any questions for me, go ahead and shoot them in before I go ahead and close up here. But also, if you haven't liked, comment, and subscribed on this video, I don't know what you're doing. I literally stayed up until 1:23 at night to do a broadcast. So the least I could ask is just for a like and a comment, and tell me in the comment section who you were most impressed with here tonight at Who's Number One, because I got to tell you, there are a few people who really impressed me, but I think the money has to go to one William Tackett. That kid is on another level. He was really deserving of a main event slot tonight. I thought him and Tommy Langaker were really the people's main event. So big ups to him. And, you know, I'm wishing for even bigger and better things for both of those young men. So let's hope they are able to go ahead and make that go ahead and escalate and go to an even bigger and better place. So that's it. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts at Grappling Hour. You can catch us on Spotify at Grappling Hour. You can even catch us on the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all of those at Grappling Hour. We try to make it as user-friendly as possible. We're also on Twitch. That's a big one we want to mention. And TikTok. We are on that one too. So you'll see more content coming up very, very soon on those fronts. What's up, Jose? So last but not least, if you didn't get the notes, we are on Discord. And yes, it is a great place to go ahead and catch the action with us at any given time. So it's our hope in the future you guys will be able to hang with us in a variety of areas. But I got to tell you this, thank you so much for watching along with us here tonight. I'm so glad that we were able to do this. I know it's super late for just about everybody here, but it really does mean a lot that you guys stopped in. You said what's up to your boy Rafa Sparza, and hopefully we get to see you very soon. So again, tomorrow, listen for me at Sparstar. If you are not a member of their Sparstar, you can get all of their premium events. You can check that out, and that is a $9.99 subscription per month, and it supports an organization that is always finding the new up-and-coming talent here in Los Angeles. So in Southern California, you see some of the best, and I'm really hoping that you guys will continue to plug and promote those folks. So, my friends, I say this with not authority, but with a slight ellipsis, that we close the door to tonight so that we can slowly find our way to regrouping again in the near future. Ladies and gents, it's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats. Just kidding. There is no end credits here. So we're going to look for one end credits to put over at the very end. I gotta love when that happens. That is so funny. I love when we're sitting here and we're like, wait, did I do the end credits here? Let's see what this one goes. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.